Let me show you what was waiting for me today on my porch when I got home. It was this gigantic box. This is the A Song of Ice and Fire Tabletop Battle Game Kickstarter Awards by CMON, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm going to open it up here on camera. I brought them out here to the workshop, so I'm going to put it on the workbench, and we're going to see what's inside. Okay, here we go. Look at all of this. I tell you what, I'm going to slide this over here. We're going to go kind of quick here and just see what's inside. We'll look at them in a lot more detail later. I just want to see the sculpts, see really what I got. Each unit comes with a unit stand. That's really good. My brother and I played a lot of Warhammer Fantasy Battles together when we were kids. And so this is really why I backed this game, because A, I love Song of Ice and Fire. I'm a big fan, especially of the books, and I really wanted to see George R.R. Martin's vision in miniatures, and then also because I used to play Warhammer Fantasy Battles all the time, I was like, well, this is the perfect set. I have to get it. I love these sculpts. Having them come pre-assembled with the army tray, or the unit tray, that is so fantastic. It's going to make getting up and playing and painting also so much easier and so much faster. Look at this bowman. I love bowmen. I used to play Bretonians, and so I love good-looking archers. They are all a very nice hard plastic. I like that. These things are going to take paint very well. They're not going to flex and have the paint chip off. It's very nice. Let's again come up with a pretty cool-looking unit. Some of them melt down in front. That's going to be really neat. It's a Casterly rock. Larger cavalry base. Whoa. That's some heavy cavalry. Stark heroes. Cards, I suppose, that detail all the special powers of the people. I have no idea how to play, so I'll have to look at all that later. I love the proportions of these miniatures. I like real realistic looking miniatures with like the realistically proportioned swords and all of that. And of course there are allowances for miniatures, but these guys look real, and so I think they did a good job with that. Certainly invokes the feel, the right feel, I think, for miniatures based on A Song of Ice and Fire. Another reason that I had really wanted to back this is because I was a big fan of the Dark Sword miniature range anyway. Of course, these miniatures come from Dark Sword. They say copyright Dark Sword on the back of these boxes. And I wanted to get, to collect this miniature line for a long time. And so when this Kickstarter came up and it had all of the Dark Sword miniatures in it, I had to have it. I think that's a very good Varys. Lannister heroes. Cards. You must not have to put heroes on a base. I wonder if that base was because of the wolf in the Stark set. That is a good-looking Tywin Lannister. He's bald like he should be. The Bolton Flayed Men. Now, this was one unit I remember from the Kickstarter that I thought looked different from certainly how I would have thought of them. They've got, these have kind of a higher fantasy look than a lot of the other ones, but I didn't see them in person, so let's check them out. Well, that is definitely some heavy cavalry, even heavier than the Lannisters that we were looking at as far as armor goes. They have kind of a look like they're wearing Excalibur armor from that movie Excalibur. But they are certainly something. Extra heavy cavalry. Let's go to this set now. So that is the Iron Throne miniature, based on what George R.R. Martin said it should look like. The real asymmetric and ugly Iron Throne made of all these swords. And huge, too. Love it. Okay. I like this miniature. That is a really good knightly miniature. That might be the Knight of Flowers. I'm not sure. But I I'm a big fan of that miniature. That screams to me classic knight. That's the miniature based on George R.R. Martin. I believe that's the Archmaester, or one of the Archmaesters. God, look at that. So that is the mountain that rides. That is enormous. Look at that in proportion. Well, in proportion to this one right here. So that's a huge warhorse that's having to carry him. But of course that's true. He had to have this huge horse. And then also compared to the size of infantry. I think this was a Kickstarter add-on as well, because I think there must be plastic, or must be cardboard tokens inside the main box, and they got upgraded to plastic tokens, and so it's kind of an interesting way of packaging them. All right, well, I guess now we come to the main course, so to speak. So here is the starter set for Stark versus Lannister. Okay, here's the rule book. Got to dive into that, find out how to play. Punch boards. So there are the punch board tokens I think we were looking at in plastic. We've got a lot. So this is Stark soldiers. I like gritty looking miniatures, and so I mean, give me, a lot of people like the real high fantasy look, but I love the low fantasy look of, here's a guy who is wearing mail, he's got a sword, and he's got a shield. I mean, that's my type of miniature right there. I bet that's Great John Umber. We got cards. I'm not going to open up all the cards here. A whole lot of unit bases. Oh, we got miniatures under here. Stark cavalry and banner bearers. Again, to me, that's the kind of cavalry that I like. That's good looking cavalry. And Lannister. Lannister halberdiers. I also like these guys. I mean, they're obviously heavily armored, but that's the way they're supposed to be. George R.R. Martin talks a lot about the heavy armor, the plate armor, of course, in the books. And so it's completely appropriate for these guys to be wearing this kind of armor. Darksword and all the sculptors there did a fantastic job with that. But to me, it still has such a low fantasy kind of feel, because they're heavily armored, but it looks real, looks really realistic. But I suppose at the same time, very playable and very paintable too. So there's the foot version of the mountain. Oh, it's Cersei. These miniatures are going to get used a lot for all kinds of games, I think. Okay. I am very excited. I am so glad that I backed this campaign. I've wanted these miniatures for a long time, so to be able to get them all like this, painted up, or pre-assembled, ready for painting. While you're here, let me show you something else I've been working on real quick, because obviously I'm going to need a battlefield for all of my guys to fight over. And so I've been working on building the North using Terra tiles, and this is the Tundra Terra tile set, and I've been mounting them on styrofoam like you can see here, because I'm starting to make different elevation pieces, because I really want to do a three-dimensional battlefield. What's going to happen is these are going to get glued down so they don't move during the battle. But you can see what I'm kind of going for here. And I'm going to do recessed streams and things as well. But I think this is going to let me cover the table in some really awesome three-dimensional battlefield terrain, basically create the entire landscape, create something really nice, particularly for the North. So I've been shooting some footage while I've been creating this, and I'll put it out as a video. Well, if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to go over to the Infinite Black channel, because that's where we do all the videos for the games that we make with Infinite Black. Got a lot of stuff coming out there. I've been working on RPG stuff today. And also, please remember to go over to the Journey to the Tree of Sorrows channel, because that is where we've been building, we put all the history and lore and stories behind the Journey to the Tree of Sorrows world. And I put out a audiobook today, narrated by Ian Gordon, that I wrote. It's called The Story is Relic of the Mad Poet. And so please go over there and check it out, listen to it. I think it's a great story. People have really been enjoying it. So, all right, I will see you again in another video. Hope you